It's definitely complex, and it's moving in the wrong direction.
Right.
You know, I've been paying attention to these companies that are buying up affordable housing.
Yeah. Like BlackRock and Zillow.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is scary.
That's scary because if they can move the entire country into renting, like
that's right.
Nobody can own anything.
Well, that's what they want to do.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They don't want anyone to own anything.
If you get a giant majority of the population that are just renters, that don't ever own property, they never have their own real home.
Yeah.
And then you make sure that you control their wage because you have massive corporations, whether it's Target or Amazon or whatever, and they limit the amount of possible growth you have within a company.
Yeah. And there was that article, "You'll own nothing and be happy" in 2030.
That is wild.
And this is, you know, kind of, you know, when you look at a lot of these think tanks and, you know, groups of very powerful interests, when you look at the kind of world they want, they would like to get rid of things like car ownership.
Yes, I've been seeing that too.
They want to get rid of home ownership. Yeah. They want people to all be on the grid in a major way. They want surveillance, you know, cradle to grave, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Social credit systems.
Yeah, and the only thing it's left to do seems to be to get in with them. So that when they're doing this to everyone, you're with them.
Yeah, you're on the right side of the plexiglass.
Because here's the problem. People are marching into this willingly. They're like marching into it. It's like my aunt or the other aunt. Like people, as long as their team wins, they don't really care what rights they lose and what things end up looking like.
Yeah, they don't. There's a lot of people that don't. And they're so tribal that if the right-wing people want something, they want the opposite of that, even if it kills them. And so I think that there's a lot of exaggerated positions by people that take up these really like amplified right-wing positions, and it's probably like Russian trolls or Chinese trolls or something like that. And they take up these positions which force the people on the left to get even more crazy with their Marxist ideas and leftist ideas.
They turn it up.
They're being played.
They turn it up.
And very few people are autonomous. Very few people have their own like.
But we're also a silly country now, so we have kids in the suburbs calling themselves Maoists, unironically, in these leafy green suburbs. And then we have the alt-right, and it's the same kids, and they want a return to the Holy Roman Empire. And these are children running around the suburbs that are online all day, venerating these genocidal dictators and going, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a silly country, and there's a lot of problems.
And you know, one of the first indications that I saw that this was coming was when comics stopped doing colleges.
Interesting, yeah.
Because as soon as
comics, you lose the younger people.
Because the comics are like, dude, they're too fucking politically correct. It's too annoying. I don't want to do this. They don't have any world experience, and their ideas are preposterous, and you know they don't want. They're like the first to say no one should own property. They're the first to say that you know that we need a redistribution of wealth, and we need
which a little bit of is good, but you don't want all of it.
Income
because then
equality.
Why make money?
Income equality is a crazy statement.
Of course.
Because should people make more money? Yes.
Yes.
They definitely should.
Sure.
If you look at a corporation that's making fucking untold billions of dollars, and then you go down to the bottom of the chain and people are in dire poverty that are working for that company, and that company is benefiting substantially more than that person's
the balance is way off.
The balance is way off, and those people have no leverage.
Yes,
that's where unions come into play. That's why it's important.
It's like, but that's why Jeff Bezos recently with Amazon, like he's taking the photos with the girl.
Yeah,
he's enjoying it. At least the Amazon employees, even though they don't have food or health care, can look at him and go, he's having fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas a Warren Buffett, he's just in Omaha having sex with kids quietly and worshiping Satan.
Is that what he's doing?
Come on, who lives in Omaha? He has $1 billion.
He drinks a lot of Coca-Cola.
He's got $100 billion. He lives in Omaha. Why? Because he likes.
He lives in a small house.
He says he likes Dairy Queen. Let's cut it out. But Bezos, at least, he's on a raft with these whores in the middle of the ocean. At least that inspires people.
It's his girlfriend. I think it's actually his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's really pretty.
She's pretty in an interesting way.
What does that mean?
There's a shapeliness to her she seems threatening.
Like an animal.
She looks like an agent. Kind of like somebody that would play an agent in a in a movie, which is interesting because she probably is an agent in real life.
Well, she's
a Mossad agent or something.
Dated a lot of other people. She's had children. I think she's American.
Well, God bless her, and she's making good choices. I always tell women, if you can, marry a billionaire, right? Marry
it's a good move.
Marry a wealthy dude.
Hang in there for a couple of years.
The
and it's
best
way better
life
than working at Amazon.
is to marry someone who they make money by destroying themselves while you enjoy it, which is many relationships that I know. A woman will enjoy the fruits of a man's labor. He will destroy himself, and she will kind of enjoy the money.
Right. But Bezos, I believe, is retired.
Well,
he stepped down as a CEO,
but it's kind of like Putin, right? Where they never really step down.
Interesting.
But my thing is like, when you have a country that's this silly, where comedy specials are people coming out making serious points, you have late night hosts crying, you have the girl who threatened her mother on Dr. Phil is a legitimate star. Right? Bad Baby. Remember that woman?
Oh, yeah.
She threatened to kill her mother on TV. She's a star now.
She has massive Instagram following.
Massive, massive. Where does this go? Right? Pictures of apes are selling for the cost of a Lamborghini. Our last president was the guy who hosted The Apprentice, and on his last day of office, a mob of lunatics ran into the Capitol to take selfies with fucking wigs on. It looked like a sketch I would do. Like, it really is. We're in like a fucking weird movie.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you would hear about the last days of the Roman Empire?
Yes.
Where they were just like eating till they couldn't take it anymore and then shoving a feather in their mouth and throwing up and fucking everybody.
Yes.
That's us.
And it's, when it's explained like that, it sounds good. It doesn't sound that bad. But it is funny as a comedian when you step back and you go like, this is really, really crazy stuff.
It's crazy stuff, and the problem is I don't see a good ending, because if we fall in, the other problem is we have to compete with China, and China has this amazing ability to control their population through propaganda and intimidation and total censorship, which we're like moving in that kind of general direction, which is really scary, because the one way we may be able to compete with China is to become more like China, because otherwise, like, they're so integrated. Their government and their business is inexorable. They're connected. You cannot have a corporation where the government's not involved.
Right.
So the government makes decisions with the corporations that benefit the government and benefit the Chinese Communist Party, benefit the country in general.